I became extremely curious about what such an experience of joy would be like. I started wondering what it would be like. Would joy to such level put me into an amazing spiritual experience? Would I, would I, would I be more connected to everything? Would would I see would I see anything about would I see things about the truth that would help me spiritually grow later? Even though this experience that I'm feeling is stemming from the ego and feeling better than other people. Would having an orgasm with her put me in a state so intense that I would have an out of body experience? Maybe if I had an out of body experience, I'd be able to fly. Maybe I could maybe I could fly and take her with me, and we could fly around downtown, above downtown Charleston, fly above the Cooper River and fly above the bridges. I think that would be really amazing. So imagine what that would be like. Gave me goosebumps. I thought of such an amazing experience. I became anxious. I knew I had a high chance of having something like that happen because she liked me. She kissed me, and I know and she told me she wanted to have sex with me, and that really made me very anxious, because I felt like I was very close to something that would be really powerfully amazing, and I did not want to mess this chance up. I started to worry. I did not want anything to mess up this chance. I started to wonder if letting go of my ego and pride would hinder this potentially enjoyable experience, being that I do know it is pride based. It is feeling like I'm luckier than other people from being with this girl who likes me and is being my girlfriend and making love with her. I decided I made a fundamental, at that point I made a fundamental decision. I really wanted to spiritually grow bad. However, I really wanted to let go of my ego and spiritually grow more and let go of fear more and see the truth more. But I didn't want to mess up. I didn't want to have that potentially lower the enjoyment of what it would be like if I did, get with her, being that the enjoyable experience is based off ego and pride. So I decided not to let go of ego and pride yet. I decided I won't let go of it until I at least experience this enjoyable experience with this girl, being that I know she does like me. I wanted to at least give it a good attempt. I figured that if she ended up not liking me, even though I doubt that would have happened, I at least would know I at least gave it a fair shot. Then at that point, I could let go of my ego and resume with my spiritual path. I figured I would feel. I felt making that decision to not let go of pride until I at least had sex with her would probably stop my spiritual progress until then. But that was a sacrifice I was willing to make. I felt like I'd be cursed by this curiosity of this potential. I kind of felt almost like I was being cursed by this curiosity of this potential enjoyable experience. I kind of didn't like the feeling, but I was willing to do it instead of regret not experiencing it at all. Because I knew I was juggling something that is potentially really amazing. Once I realized this, I tried to make this opportunity happen. I continued to hang out with this girl. We hung out a lot. Unfortunately, nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened yet. As days went on, she still showed interest though. She still seemed like she wanted me. It still seemed like she did kind of like have feelings for me and wanted to have a girlfriend. In spite of the fact that time was ticking along, I decided to still not let go of pride yet. I decided to still keep attempting this. As days went on, she still showed interest. She often wanted to show in. She often showed signs of interest through her body language in things she said. She often touched me, rubbed my neck in which felt extremely good, and constantly told me I was beautiful. She even told one of her friends she just met that she wanted to have sex with me. However, the opportunity never arose because things always got in the way. She lived with her parents. Even though she was older than me, she lived with her parents, and when we hung out, we often stayed out late hanging out with other people. She often worked during the day and I picked her up at night, and we often hung out very late. The combination made it really hard to actually have the opportunity to have sex. My anxiousness of wanting this chance to happen made me nervous because I didn't want to say anything that could give her the wrong impression or screw up the chance. I was afraid I was afraid I would accidentally say something rude or say something that would make her think I'm crazy and then mess up the chance. And I was afraid that I would regret that for the rest of my life. The nervousness I had didn't help. And the nervousness I had, I found made me not be myself as much. It made me less confident. I felt like it didn't help. And I tried whatever I could to not get nervous, but I couldn't seem to shake off the nervousness. Soon, she started seeming less attracted to me. This was about a month into the friendship. Soon after a month, she seemed to be less attracted to me. And we didn't have sex when the opportunity came. Even though I was somewhat upset that we didn't have sex and she didn't seem to want to be my boyfriend, I decided to still be friends with her. I thought she was so cool to be friends with her, and it was amazing as it is. She was a lot of fun to hang out with downtown. And I met other cool people she knew, and we danced and we even went to the beach. We hung out every day. I always gave her rides to work, and she really appreciated it, and I liked it. Sometimes she had a few moments though, and I was starting to notice them more and more as the course of the friendship went on. She sometimes got annoyed with me, she often got annoyed when I had a hard time understanding directions. Or she also got annoyed when I sometimes had a hard time paying attention and remembering things. One time after work, I was supposed to meet her somewhere to pick her up. I was supposed to meet her somewhere. I was supposed to give her like my purse, and I didn't, and she got very mad at me. I, however, knew how frustrating, but I did know that it can be frustrating. However, knew how frustrating it was for people to deal with my disability, though, because I know my parents got frustrated around me. So I didn't hold her seemingly snappy behavior against me. I decided it was time to let go of pride. I knew she didn't really like me. I knew it seemed like she didn't like me. So I decided it was time to do that. Around that time, I noticed she started to like me a little more. And so I decided to not let go of pride yet. 2 months into this friendship, she started noticing something was bothering me. I was really nervous to tell her. I, however, got some courage. I've learned before that sometimes you just gotta tell people how it is, even though there might be a chance that it may really mess things up. So I told her what was on my mind, and it was difficult, but I did it. I told her that it was hard for me to get laid sometimes because of my social skills, and it bothered me sometimes. She seemed to understand where I was coming from, and I felt bad. And what was really crazy was she had this really big smile on her face. It was almost like she was really happy that I told her that. The next day, I then decided to tell her I wanted to have sex with her, and if she won, I then decided to tell her that I've always wanted to have sex with her, and if she wanted to, it would be up to her. Saying that was very difficult, but luckily the words came out good, and I didn't stammer and make it sound really bad. It was worded good, and I was happy. She looked at me and gave me another big smile. It looked like she was flattered.